All right, hello everyone. It's May 6, 2025, and I want to welcome you to the second Blazie Technologies webinar. We're really happy to see all of you join us tonight. I see a lot of familiar names and can't wait to interact with you. The focus of this webinar is going to be showcasing the last two updates for the BT Speak, the April update and the May update, which was just released yesterday. And so many of you are just getting your feet wet with the new features there. And so we're going to put an emphasis on the May features. We have many familiar things there, established features like a clipboard and NFB Newsline, many of you are aware of, and then several unique features that really kind of set BT Speak apart, and like our new command assistant that we call Smart Input. So we're looking forward to demoing those features. We're going to get right into that, and then we're going to go into a question and answer session. So the way that this is going to work, if you have a question during the demo, go ahead and raise your hand using the raise hand icon on Zoom, and we'll wait until the Q&A session to get to you in the order of hands raised. If you would do us a favor and keep your questions very succinct and to the point, and limit to one question. And that's only because we want to make sure that we're able to get to absolutely everybody on the list. If you do have two questions and they're both focused on the same topic, that's fine. We'll get to you. Otherwise, save your question and raise your hand again. And if there's time at the end, we'll get to you. So with that, I want to introduce Tim Noonan, who's going to be my co-host tonight, and he's going to introduce the first feature. I believe we're going to talk about the global clipboard. Is that right, Tim?
Yes, thanks, Stephen. So the global clipboard is something that we put a lot of work into. The whole idea is that you can copy, cut and paste from one part of the Braille and Speak, not just in the editor, to other parts of the Braille and Speak, BT Speak, I'm sorry, and that includes the desktop. So that's the first thing, including that it can backward and forward translate Braille. But in addition to that, we've also standardized to familiar control characters, Control C for copy, Control X for cut, Control V for paste. So let me give you a quick demo of how this works. I think what I'll do first, and we'll sort of partially demonstrate another feature at the same time, I'm going to open up the welcome screen. So I'm going to do eCord. I'm in the editor at the moment, so I'll do eCord for the edit menu.
Editor menu, open.
And W to open the welcome screen.
Viewing welcome screen. File 3 of 3.
This is a new welcome screen. It's a lot different to what it was before because it's got actual links and it's also got headings in it. So this will sort of cross over with some of the other features. What I'm going to do is just make sure I'm at the top of the file.
Top of file.
We'll read current line.
Heading level 1, the BT Speak from Blazie Technologies. Blank. For context sensitive help.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a mark in the document at the top of this paragraph just by pressing M chord.
Mark set.
And we're just going to down arrow with .4 chord, move down a few lines.
For the help topics index blank. Heading level 2 getting started as well as list. You can press enter. .8.
That's enough. So I've got a few lines here and I'm going to, if I want, I can check with WH chord and
mark is 5 lines above. Cursor at line 8 in welcome screen.
And that gives us confidence that the mark is set and it tells us how many lines or characters we are from the mark. So our cursor's down here, our mark's up there. I'm going to hit Control C for copy.
Copied 371 characters.
And it tells you exactly how many characters are copied. So you really know that what you think you're doing is what's happening. Now to do a control character now, well, it's always been the case, you can hold the dots 7 and 8 with the letter. So Control C is dots 7 and 8 with dots 1 and 4. So we do encourage people to move to using the control keys for all of these clipboard commands because they're very memorable, very similar to Windows and very similar to Mac. And it also means that we can potentially free up some of the other less memorable keys that we previously had for copy and paste. But we're not doing that at the moment. At the moment, everything you're familiar with will work, but the control keys are there as well. So let's first of all go into a Braille file. So I'll just shortcut. I'm going to do E-chord again for the editor menu.
Editor menu, opened.
And I'm going to hit B for the to create a quick Braille note.
Enter name. Default is note 196.
Now you can see I have very high note numbers because we use notes a lot in our testing. I'll just hit enter to accept that name.
Note 1, new line.
Okay, so we're now in a file. I've just jumped down to the bottom of it, and now I'm going to paste. And remember, this is a Braille file, and the welcome screen was a text file. So I'll do Control V here.
Pasted 299 characters.
Now, if you've got a good memory for numbers, you may have noticed that the number of characters pasted was different to the number of characters copied. And that's because automatically what we've done is a back translation. So I'm just going to go to the top of the file so that we can check that this information has arrived.
Top of file, blank. For context-sensitive help on whatever you are doing at the moment, 1%.
Now you may remember that was in the help file, and that's in this file. Let's go to the start of the line.
.6.
And we're on .6, so that's obviously a capital.
4. Spackordinge. Low C.
Oh, now I apologize. I've actually switched to a different, I was doing some testing last night and switched to a different Braille table. So let me just quickly fix that. My apologies.
Options menu. Settings menu. Braille setting. Change the input prompt mode. Change the literary Braille tape. English, United Kingdom. English, English, United, English, Unified, English, English, Unified. OK. Change the literary Braille tape. Braille settings. Shortcut is note 196 is open.
Okay, so I've now switched tables, but what I'm going to do is just pop back to the previous file.
For text sensitive, note 196.brl file 4 of 4, capital B.
Right, so clearly I've been thrown. Bear with me for a second.
Capital B. Navigation menu, opened.
All right.
File number, viewing welcome screen, top of file.
We're in the welcome screen. We're going to quickly do this.
Mark set, blank. For content, for the help, blank.
Down a couple of lines. We're going to copy.
Copied 206, editor menu, enter, new line, end of file, new line.
All right, so here we go. We're back where we were. We'll paste here.
Pasted 191 characters.
Now, if I move around.
For the help topics index, press O chord to open the options menu. .6.
.6.
4.
The 4 sign.
Space.
The sign.
Space. .6. H. E. L. P.
For help. So what's happened is automatically it's back translated. Now that bit of confusion there does highlight an important feature or aspect of copy and paste and Braille translation. It's very much based on your table. So when you enter text and convert it to Braille for copying, etc., it will work on the table that you had set. And as you know, UEB is very reliable for back translation. Some of the other tables are a bit less so. We're working on this issue. But clearly a good capability to go back and forth. And I could cut and paste here and also go into a text file and it would convert to ASCII. So if you write in Braille a lot, you can move that text using copy and paste into another file, and you'll be able to have the true ASCII that you could export to your computer or whatever. We can also go to the desktop and we can paste Braille and it will be back translated. So with a couple of fits and starts, that's copy and paste in the editor. What I'm going to do now is just type in 15,
comma, N.
So I'm going to go to a text file.
Editor menu, quick text, enter name, note 1, new, end of, new line.
I'm going to type in 15.
15.
Asterisk.
Star.
3. And we'll just check that
15
line.
star 3.
Now I'm going to hit Control C, dot 7 and 8 and C, and this will work on the line because no block is set. So that's a feature in the editor. There is, by the way, a full audio demo of the copy and paste facility and a detailed help file called Clipboard.
Copied 6 characters.
Copying that. Let's go to the calculator.
Options menu, open.
O-chord and C for calculator.
Calculate expression.
Now we're just going to check what's on this line with C chord.
Expression.
It's blank, as we'd expect. If I do Control V.
6 characters pasted.
6 characters pasted. Let's read the current line now.
Expression, 15 star 3.
15 star 3. If I hit enter,
Result 45.
we get 45. So I think that gives you a bit of a feel for that we can use cut and paste in prompts. So if you're in the Wikipedia program, you could copy, paste, use Control V to paste what you want to search for into the Wikipedia prompt. At the moment, the only exception to this is actually the AI chat app, which we're looking at as a separate project. So I'll hand back to you, Stephen. And that's our demo of cut, copy, paste in the clipboard in the traditional side.
All right. Very, very cool, Tim. Thank you so much for that demo. Okay, I think we're going to go next to NFB Newsline. Steve?
Yes, so as Stephen just alluded to, NFB Newsline is now available on the BT Speak. For those who might not be aware of it, it is a free service available to residents of the United States and related territories that is sponsored by the National Federation of the Blind. And what this allows you to do is access a bunch of periodicals, state newspapers, national newspapers, local papers, as well as blindness-specific publications. There's a few other things like breaking news, TV listings, and things of that sort. Anyway, this has been around for a while, and now that it is available on the BT Speak, you can read your news on the go. So, that said, let's show you where this is. So I'm currently in the editor, so let's go to the options menu with OCHord.
Options menu, opened.
A for applications.
Applications menu, opened.
And I'm going to go to library, which is a new menu.
Library applications menu, opened.
And we have a couple of options in here. We have
The Bible, shortcut is B.
we have the Bible
NFB Newsline, shortcut is N.
and NFB Newsline.
The Bible, shortcut is B.
Of course, we want Newsline.
NFB Newsline,
And
shortcut is N.
this is something which I believe Blazie Tech is going to be expanding down the road. So anyway, let's go into Newsline.
NFB Newsline menu, opened.
And now we have a menu of choices, which include
Favorites, shortcut is F.
favorites,
Breaking news, shortcut is B. Publications by state, shortcut is P. National newspapers, shortcut is N. International newspapers, shortcut is I. Magazines, shortcut is M. Spanish publications, shortcut is E. All publications, shortcut is A. Search publications, shortcut is S. Read downloaded publications, shortcut is R. Download favorites, shortcut is D. Sign out of Newsline, shortcut is O. Favorites, shortcut is F.
you saw the final one there was sign out of Newsline. I've signed into Newsline, so we don't have to go through that. There's a lot of choices here, as you can tell, so we're not going to go through all of these, but let me just touch on a couple of kind of maybe common use cases here. So I've already set up some favorites in my account, which you can do on the BT Speak, by the way, if you want to. And that works just fine. But I've had favorites set up for years, so this just pulled them right in, which made me very happy. So I'm on favorites. I'm going to press enter or .8 to go in.
Loading Newsline. Load ACB Braille Forum.
And here's all of my favorites. So we have ACB Braille Forum,
Access World.
Access World,
Braille Monitor.
Braille Monitor,
Fort Wayne Journal Gazette.
Fort Wayne Journal Gazette,
USA Today.
USA Today,
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal. And that's everything I've got currently in this menu. Well, I'm currently on Wall Street Journal, so let's go ahead and open that with .8.
Read.
We have a few options here. We can read,
Download.
we can download, which will download the entire magazine to the internal storage of my machine.
Remove from favorites.
I can remove from favorites.
View information.
I can view information about the publication. And that's it. So let me go back up to read.
Remove download. Read. Current issue.
Then we have a list of possible issues we can read. We have the current one, which will be today's paper.
Previous issue.
A previous issue, which is normally the prior day.
Major issue.
Major issue, which I've not been able to get total clarity on what this means, but I believe it's maybe the last paper that was released on Sunday, or the closest day to that. But anyway, I don't need either of those. I want
Previous current issue.
the current issue.
Getting full publication text.
So now we've got choices. We can read the entire publication as one large file, or we can read select portions of it.
Page 1.
So we have page 1,
Tech,
tech,
business,
tech,
health,
business, health,
economy,
economy,
corrections and amplifications.
corrections, and amplifications. These are just all the major categories of the newspaper. So let's go up to tech,
Economy, health, business, tech.
press enter.
The chip maker logged higher profit and sales in the fiscal first quarter. The server maker cut its sales outlook for fiscal 2025, citing the new quantum network entanglement chip works with existing fiber optic infrastructure and consumes less than.
All right, that sounds fairly cryptic. Let's just press enter and just show you what happens as far as when you have an article you want to read.
The new quantum network entanglement chip works with existing fiber optic infrastructure and consumes less than 1 megawatt of power. Cisco Systems said it has created a new quantum chip and opened a quantum lab as it looks to accelerate Blazie core to exit.
So basically, what we're in now is the new file viewer app, which you might notice has kind of replaced the way that you used to read things like the help topics, the Wikipedia, Wiktionary, dictionary. All of those files now come up in this new viewer, as do Newsline articles. And this is based on the editor. So what this means is that you can navigate normally through files. You can use the clipboard operations that Tim just showed. And you can just as easily close out of articles once you're done reading them with Z-Cord.
The new quantum network entanglement chip works with existing fiber.
And now we're back in the menu of articles. I'm not going to subject people to all of that, but this is a very quick way to drill down to parts of a publication that you might want to read. And that's great if you're online, but if you're offline,
Tech,
or you plan to be offline, we can also
current issue, Wall Street Journal.
Download issues either individually, or I'm going to back out to
Favorites, shortcut is F.
the main menu.
Breaking news, publication, national news, international magazine, Spanish all publications, search publications, read downloaded publication, download favorites, shortcut is D.
We have an option here called download favorites, and this is honestly my personal favorite. You'll probably
Loading Newsline.
term there.
Downloading favorites. Downloaded current issue favorites to your library.
And what this did was it grabbed all the current issues of my favorite magazines, downloaded them to my device. And so if I'm about to go on a trip, I can grab my papers before I go out the door and read them whenever I want to.
Download favorites, shortcut is D.
By accessing
read downloaded publications,
the
shortcut is R.
read downloaded publications item here.
ACB Braille Forum 2025-0401 NL. ACB Braille Forum 2025-0501 NL.
So let's just try the ACB Braille Forum.
Read.
And I can read.
Delete from your library.
Or delete.
Read. Full publication text. Articles.
And notice we have
full articles are octogenarian odyssey by riding the roller coaster.
Even though this is downloaded, we can either read the full publication or the individual article sections just as we could when reading them dynamically off the internet. So this is a great service. If you're not subscribed to it and you are eligible to, I strongly recommend you do. It's fantastic. And I'm very grateful to see that this has made it onto the BT Speak. And I'll hand it back over to Steve and Blazie.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, and if you weren't paying attention, Steve actually covered two features there. One of them was NFB Newsline, and on the way, he was able to show you our new reader tool, which, as he said, is a new way to read help files and other information, including Wikipedia articles, NFB Newsline articles, and you can do so much more than simply read text from a file. You can now find and search for words that you're looking for, or copy and paste text, copy a portion of an article and email it, for example. And so there's a lot more than that you can interact with text information that's presented to you in the applications now. All right, so let's move on to one of the other favorite features, Smart Input Tool, which is a command assistant. It uses what many of us call a natural language to issue commands to BT Speak. And so instead of issuing a particular combination of keys, maybe you don't remember the key combination to or the series of keys to open up the Firefox web browser in desktop mode. And so this tool will allow you to issue a very simple text-based human-like command in an input prompt, and it's very powerful. So Tim, are you going to demonstrate this feature?
Actually, I think Stephen's going to demo this one, and I'll probably demo menu search after that.
Okay, Steve, back to you.
All right, so smart input is another, it may sound like a simple feature, but it's actually quite nice. In desktop mode in particular, this serves kind of two needs. The first is that when you're dealing with a Braille-only device, trying to emulate every possible keyboard combination from a standard computer keyboard is tough. It requires a lot of finger gymnastics, and the combinations are not always easy to recall. In fact, I can't always recall them, and I've been playing with the BT Speak for a long time. What this feature allows us to do is if you don't remember how to type a Braille version of a command, but you know what the command is supposed to be. For example, I want to do Control O to open a file, or Alt Shift H to bring up, I think that's the Orca command to bring up headings in a web browser. Well, instead of having to remember, press .8 plus space plus .3, .2, .1 in this particular order, and then a letter. Now, what I can do is just type a single command, which is low J. That's the dots 3, 5, 6, and the space bar, or low J chord, if you will. And then I can type Control Shift H or Control O, or I can type print or select all, cut, copy, paste. The BT Speak recognizes all of these words and will issue the appropriate command. That's the first thing that it does. The second thing that it allows you to do is type grade or contracted Braille, literary Braille, if you will, into desktop mode. So I'm going to show you how to do both of these things. I've already got desktop mode pulled up on my unit, so let me switch to that.
Desktop mode.
And I'm currently in LibreOffice Writer. I've just got a one-liner here.
Hello, this is a LibreOffice document.
So I'm in here now. And let's say I want to bold some text or turn bold on and off. And the command to do that is Control B. Well, I happen to know that I could do B plus dots 7 and 8 or X chord and then B, but what if I don't know that? I'm coming from normal computer land and trying to adapt to BT Speak. I can type low J chord.
Enter command.
And I'll type CTRL, or I could type the word control. Either one's fine.
Space.
And in this case, I typed the space, but I could also do a dash or a plus sign, and then B. And let's hear what happens.
B. Sent on CTRL plus B.
All right, so it said sent and then Control plus B. We also heard on, and the reason you had overlapping speech was because the Orca screen reader was acknowledging that bold was now on, and the BT Speak was telling us that Control B had been sent. So now I can type some text. Hello.
E L O comma space T A I S I S B O L T E T T F T period.
Hello, this is bolded text. Okay, now I'm done bolding, so let's do 356 chord again.
Enter command.
And I'll type Control space B.
Space.
And I have my traditional mode keyboard echo off, so apologies. That's why you're not hearing the characters there.
B. Sent off CTRL plus B.
All right, and then we heard off. Okay, so that's one thing we can do. We could also launch applications. I won't do that here just to save some time. But if you know the name of the program, for example, you want to just launch Firefox or Thunderbird or Chromium or anything else that is recognized as a system command, you can just type that and press enter. You can string commands together. So if I wanted to do, I don't know, turn on bold and italic at the same time, I could do Control B space, then the word then, THEN, space, Control I. And the BT Speak would issue each of those commands in turn. But this is the other really great thing that I like about this is I'm in desktop mode, which desktop mode doesn't it has no knowledge of Braille per se. Braille input's just not a thing on, mainstream desktop operating systems. However, we now have two ways that you can get Braille into a desktop mode application. You could copy text out of the editor, and if you want to do multiple lines of information to be translated into desktop mode at once, that's still what I would recommend. It's going to be quicker. But if you're in a case like you're typing text into an input field, or you just want to do a one-liner, now you can do this straight with 345 or 356 chord rather. So to show you how to do that, I'm going to press this again.
Enter command.
And I'm going to flip to literary Braille with .56 chord.
Literary Braille.
And I'm typing this
Space.
is
Space.
written in
Space.
Braille, but
Space.
being
Space.
back
Space.
translated
Space.
to
Space.
text. I can do a C chord to verify what I just wrote.
Enter command. This is written in Braille, but being back translated to text.
And I'll press enter, and Orca is going to announce things as it's being written.
Art. This is written in Braille, but being back translated to text. Period.
There we go. I probably should have written something shorter. So what's happening is this script is literally entering each individual character as it had been back translated. And let's do a C chord.
This is written in Braille, but being back translated to text.
And I can verify that that this has been back translated just by arrowing through here with .6 chord.
Dot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was at the end of the line there. Let's go to
Capital
the
T.
Here we go. Home takes us to the beginning of the line here.
H-I-S space I-S-W.
And you can tell that's been back translated. And just because I've got the mic at the moment, I want to show one other thing here. I'm going to say,
Type enter command.
I did 356 chord again. I'm going to say select all, then copy.
Space. C. Send. Copy CTRL plus a greater CTRL plus C.
All right, so everything in my document's just been copied to the clipboard. I'm going to go back to traditional mode. And I've got a Braille file open, which has nothing in it. And I'm going to paste what I just copied.
Pasted 111 characters.
And then let's see what we got.
Hello, this is a LibreOffice document. Hello, this is bolded text. This is written in Braille, but being back translated to text.
And since I'm in a Braille file, we should have Braille characters here. Yep, TH.
W R I T T low E space.
And so we've got Braille. So smart input. It should make your life in desktop mode much happier. And I'll turn it back to Stephen.
All right, thank you, Steve. It's a very nice demo of a really cool feature with a lot of potential for expansion into many different things. So I'm going to hand it back over to Tim Noonan. I think you were going to show the search tool, the search menus feature that was introduced in the April update.
So this has been around for a month or so now. As many of you know who had your BT Speaks for a while, sometimes working out where something is in the menu system can be more than a little bit tricky, and it can also be a bit time consuming. So we're obviously working on a range of ways to improve that situation, but this is one thing that really helps. So I'll actually explain it as I demo it. So we'll just go O chord here.
Options menu, open.
And that takes us to the options menu. Now, whenever you're at the top of a menu where it says options menu open or whatever, you can press enter and it will move into menu search, or you can press computer browse /dots34. When you're anywhere in any of the menus, you can press /34. So you may use either way, but we recommend you learn how to use the slash approach because it can be used in more places. So I'm going to hit /34 now.
Enter search text.
And it said enter search text.
H chord for help.
And then it paused for a bit and it said H chord for help. So if I do H chord now, we would go into the help file for this, and it covers in more detail how it works. But this is a bit like search in Windows and other operating systems where as you type, it narrows down your search options. So for example, what if I wanted to connect a Bluetooth device? Now, where is the Bluetooth menu? It's not off the options menu. You know, it's tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in connect. I'll start doing it slowly. I'll type in C.
340 matches.
Okay, that's quite a few. O.
61 matches.
N.
32 matches.
And let's hit down arrow now, space with dots 4, and see what we have in our list. So it's produced a vertical list.
Add contact in phone book menu.
Okay.
Adjusting speech controls in getting started audio tutorial. Back 10 seconds in media controls
that wasn't
menu.
enough information. So I'm going to
Enter search 5 matches.
I've typed another N, and now we'll see what happens.
Connect in Bluetooth menu.
There we go. So if I wanted to, I could just backspace and demo
Enter
this.
search N O 340 C.
So I'm going to type in C
361
O,
matches.
N,
32 matches. 5 matches.
and the second N brought it to 5 matches. I'll hit space with down arrow.
Connect in Bluetooth menu.
And if I hit that, I've got to be careful here. I don't want to muck up my audio, but let's just do that.
RB Meta 01 GC.
And it's come up with my Meta Ray-Ban sunglasses as an audio device that I could connect. Now I'm going to very strategically Z cord out of here, because if I connect those, you won't hear my BT speak.
Options
So
menu. Open.
that's the essence of menu search, that you can type in a keyword to find the particular menu choice or the help topic that you're looking for. So
Options menu. Open.
let's do it
Enter
again.
search text.
Let's say we're looking
chord for help.
update the system. We'll type in U
409 matches.
P
35 match. 21 matches.
D.
Audio driver. In select BRLTTY. Check for package updates. In check for updates. In system administration. Check for updates. In help topics index.
Now you'll see underneath the main choice, there's also the help option. If I hit enter here,
Heading level 1 system update help.
and we're in the help viewer, you can hear headings. I can move through
Blank. Heading level 2 when you check for updates from the system administration menu.
and so forth.
H2. There's a system upgrade monitor running. Search wrapped. H1.
And I just moved by headings. So it's a great way to be able to find menu choices. There are a couple of exceptions. It can't find an item in your user menu. It can only find items in the main menus. And it doesn't apply to the editor menus for technical reasons. We're obviously looking at ways to improve this feature, but you'll find, I'm sure, if you haven't used it already, by pressing / at any point in the menus, that it's a great time saver, and it's great for people, particularly like me, who have trouble remembering stuff really reliably after we start learning and thinking about something else. The other stuff sort of falls out. So it's a great memory support as well. So I think that probably covers most of its features.
Yeah, so that's another great, just like the Smart Input Command Assistant tool, you have another tool here that it allows you to save a lot of time. And, if you don't remember where something is, you have a very quick way of getting there in traditional mode. So thanks for that demo, Tim. We want to move into one other feature in the April update, maybe the email composition from traditional mode or Wikipedia. I'll let you choose. Then there's going to be a very brief announcement before we get into the Q&A, and then maybe during the Q&A, someone will think of something else that they want to have quickly demoed.
I'm prepared to give the email demo a try, but I haven't used it for a little while, so no promises it'll be the perfect demo. But the idea here is, and this was in the April release, that you don't always want to have to go into the desktop mail program to get a quick email sent out. So I won't go through all the steps, but I will generally bring it up. So let's first of all just
Note 198.txt.
start from a standard place. So we'll do OCHord here.
Options menu. Open.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press / for menu search,
Enter search text.
and I'm going to type in mail.
H 401
A
52 11 matches.
L.
Compose email in Thunderbird menu.
Now that's actually what we want.
Send to.
So here I could type in who I'm wanting to send it to. So I could type in something like Tim at Tim, blah, blah, blah,
N,
blah.
N, I, T, N, T.
Backspacing. I'm just going to write TIM at Tim to keep it satisfied. I'll press enter.
CC.
I can CC it to somebody as well, so I can type in their email address.
BCC. Subject.
Subject.
This
is a live demo. And I'll press enter.
From file.
Now, what we can do here is we can look for a file that we've worked on in the editor that contains
quick message from file.
The text. I'll get Stephen Blazie in a tick just to clarify this with me. This could be for an attachment as well. I'm not sure if this is a file for your content of your message or an attachment, but I think
from file.
From file, it's that your message comes from the file. But what you can also do if it's a quick message, it might just be a message to your mum and you're in a rush and you're wanting to say Happy Mother's Day.
Quick message. Message.
So happy.
G. Mothers. Message. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Hit enter.
Include an attachment. Default is no.
Okay, so this clarifies that we can also include an attachment that we can find in our file system.
Starting desktop mode.
And now what it's doing, and you'll hear I've got the beeps as we're switching over to the desktop side of things. And it's going to, in a moment,
screen reader on.
Take us into Thunderbird.
Right colon. This is a live demo dash Thunderbird frame. Message body. Editable content.
Happy and here we are.
Focus mode.
We can now type in a full extra bit of information, or we can send this message. So I won't go any further because I don't have a proper send to address. But the whole idea of this is that you can quickly assemble a message in the familiar traditional mode, and following the detailed help that's available. If I bring up help here.
Help not available from Compose.
Ah, right, okay. Well, it's not available from Compose. I don't know why that is. That's just a desktop anomaly. But certainly there is help for this feature under the Thunderbird help. And what you can do is you can send this message off, and most of the work is done if you're not a desktop user in the traditional side. Now, you do need to do the one-off process of setting up your email account in Thunderbird, which is a little bit tricky, but once you've got it set up, you're ready to go. And this is just the start for ways to get these sort of necessary tasks that people need to perform to make them easier and more efficient. So I think that covers the essence of it. I'll now go back to
traditional mode.
Traditional
Node 198 is open.
And I'll hand back to Stephen Blazie. And Stephen, if you've got any corrections or expansions on my hasty demo, please feel free, obviously, to since you wrote the app. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. No, I think that was a great succinct demo of basically what the feature is, just a convenient way to send messages and have the option to send a grade 2 Braille message and have it translated in the process into an email and send it in desktop mode. It's a little bit quicker than navigating in desktop mode in some cases. We have a couple hands up already, so we're going to move into the Q&A. But before that, we have an exciting announcement, and that has to do with our user competition that we announced in our last webinar. And that was that we asked all of you to submit a video, an audio, 5 minutes of a feature that you use in BT Speak, or a convenient way of using your BT Speak that you want to share with the community that you think might be useful for others. And the winner of that competition was Michael Harris. So congratulations, Michael. Michael had a really interesting way of setting up a calendar in an editor file. It was impressive because he used very basic commands. It was a very, very simplified way to create a functional calendar that he could keep track of. And so we're going to have Michael's audio demo up on the website soon, along with several others that were submitted. This was a very difficult decision. We had several of you submitted really, really great videos of all different kinds of uses for BT Speak that we hadn't thought of. And so thank you for submitting. And we want to announce our next competition. Michael, by the way, will win a Tozo headset, which will be sent to him soon. The next competition will be to submit a demo of using your BT Speak with a third-party app. It could be something that you install in desktop mode. A third-party application, it could be a reader, it could be a chat application, something that you've used and can share you think might be useful with the community. So we'll have an announcement with further details on the next competition. We'd like to have all of the videos sent in by in 1 month, by June 6th, for that next competition. Okay, so we're going to go into the Q&A, and we're going to go to Tristan.
I'm just wondering, the smart input feature, is that something we'll be able to use in traditional mode as well?
I'll go ahead and let either Steve or Tim comment on that potential for that to be expanded into traditional mode.
Sure. Well, the person who wrote it's actually not on the call, so I won't speak for him. But yeah, the main intent for that was to kind of help make desktop mode easier. So I suspect it's probably still going to remain for that, but that's good feedback.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that question. All right, we're going to go to Andrea.
Smart input, really cool for dunces like me who don't remember how to use computer. I don't use a braille display consistently, so I forget how to use that stuff. Can that be used in Thunderbird? I assume, I mean, if you go in there and you don't use the compose from traditional mode, which I really like, hopefully I can get it to work this time. I keep accidentally attaching files and doing stuff that I don't want it to do. So Tim's demo was really helpful. I'm going to try walking through it again. And the other thing, I was interested in what Tim did with his Meta Ray-Ban glasses. I never thought of connecting my glasses. Can you connect those to more than one thing? Because obviously they're connected to my phone and I don't want to mess that up. So if I wanted to use my glasses as a Bluetooth device, I assume that I didn't know if they could be connected to several things simultaneously. So thank you.
Cool. I can answer both those questions, Tim, here. Let me go with the Ray-Ban glasses first, because that's what's in my head. Facebook and Meta don't tell you that you can, but what you can do is you can pair them either by, there's the button on the case for the glasses. If you hold that in for about 10 seconds, if you're lucky, and you can email me offline if you get stuck or on the list, if you're lucky, they will come up in pairing mode in addition to your phone. And then you go into pair devices on the BT Speak. We did a lot of work. The Meta glasses were really hard to get working with Bluetooth for complicated reasons, not ours as much as Meta's, but they're pretty rock solid now. So you can pair them when you put them on. They will often connect, and they will still stay connected to your phone for Meta inquiries, but there can't be a headset, obviously, for two devices at once. The plus is they've got very nice audio. The minus is they're a little bit like on the iPhone, a bit laggy. So if you're typing, you will have a bit of delay in hearing what it is you're typing. But it's a very pleasant experience with the BT Speak, especially if you're in a meeting and you're wanting to take some notes or whatever, but you need to hear everything that's going on around you and you want your notes to be relatively private. Now, your other question was, what was your other question?
Can I use smart input in Thunderbird if I went in there, if I didn't compose an email in traditional mode, if I just went into Thunderbird and was composing an email completely in there and wanted to use literary braille, does it work? And I was late. I apologize. I didn't hear the whole demo.
It does work with a little bit of a limitation. So if you're in a text field and you do lower J chord, .356 chord, then you can type in your line of text and only a line, but it can be, a reasonable length, but there might be some limits there. So we're looking into that. But you could certainly type in a subject and press enter, and that will be pasted into the subject line. What you can't do though is multi-line input at the moment with that feature. You'd have to invoke it each time for each new paragraph.
But you couldn't keep invoking it and keep putting new lines. You could keep adding. You just need to do it each time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm just assuming there's not a hard length limit in how many characters it can take, and I just unfortunately don't know the technical answer to that.
No, that's
off the
okay.
top of
I'm
my
just
head.
I hadn't tried this yet, and as I said, I was late, so that's on me. I only heard part of, and I know this is being recorded, so I can go back and listen. I assume guys are going to send out a link at some point to the recording.
Yes,
We will.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
This is Stephen. I just want to also add that what you can do if your goal is to compose something that's longer than, say, a subject. We demoed earlier in the call the BT Speaks new shared clipboard. So what you can do is write the body of your message in the editor in Braille, if you like. Literally select it, copy it to the clipboard, jump into Thunderbird on the desktop side, and just do Control V to paste. You can even use
that will work
to say it, and that'll translate it back into text, and you're good to go.
Stephen, could you do that even if you wanted to create the message in traditional mode? Would that work?
Yeah.
So that would work as well.
Yes, and you can just now use Control A to select all in a document, and and then you can do Control C in the editor.
Okay, and what is Control again? Is it .8?
.7 and 8 with letters, or you can do like on the Braille and Speak, X chord first, followed by the letter.
Thank you, Tim.
So to summarize, it's .7 and 8 for Control, .7 for Shift, and .8 for Meta, which is sometimes used in the editor.
I saw that Meta, and I heard it. Maybe when you were reading it said Meta something, and I wasn't sure what that meant.
Yeah, it's essentially a bit like the Alt key in Linux.
Thank you so much.
All right, great questions. And I think that's all the questions for now. We've got a few minutes left. Steve, do you want to share a demo of the Wikipedia app from the April update?
So one thing that was added back in the April update were two options, or rather two apps. One was for Wikipedia and one was for Wiktionary. And these are online kind of encyclopedias and dictionaries that are just freely available to anybody. To use these do require internet access, so it's not like your BT Speak has an archived copy of that data. Thought that would be cool one of these days. So what it allows you to do, though, is conveniently search for a subject and read it again in this new file viewer. And so once you get it, you can copy that article out and save it to a file if you want to. So let me show you how to do that. It is under the applications menu and in the reference subsection. So you can do O chord A and then R, or if you just want to find Wikipedia, you can do O chord and then type the / key .34 for menu search, which is what I'm going to do.
Options menu opened. Enter search text.
And I'm going to type wiki, W-I-K-I.
H chord for help. 3 matches.
We have 3 matches.
Wikipedia in reference applications menu.
And there's Wikipedia. Press enter or .8.
Search query.
And I've been kind of on a Greta Van Fleet kick lately, so I'm going to type in that band's name.
Space.
And press enter.
Searching for Greta Van Fleet.
And here are our results.
Greta Van Fleet discography. Starcatcher album. The Battle at Garden's Gate. Anthem of the Peaceful Army.
And so let's
Starcatcher album.
We'll go to Starcatcher. That's their latest album. Really good, by the way, if you're into Zeppelin kind of vibes. Enter will open it.
View summary.
And now we have view summary.
Background and recording.
And background and recording.
Release and promotion. Critical reception.
So just like Newsline, we're now in a list of kind of the main headings for this article. So let's go up
Release back.
to
View summary.
view summary. I'm going to press enter.
Starcatcher is the third studio album by American rock band Greta Van Fleet. It was released on July 21st, 2023, through
And now I'm just in another editor type viewer where I can read.
Lava in Republic, the U.S. Its first drummer Danny Wagner. We had this idea that we wanted to.
And yeah, we can just go through and read it like any other document. I can go to the
Top of
top of
file.
the file. I can search for something
Enter text to find.
with find. So let's, I don't know, look for the word drummer.
Drummer Danny Wagner. We had this idea that we wanted to.
And there we go. And just like with everything else, if I want to select everything,
Top of file.
I can set my mark with M chord,
Mark set.
go to the end of the file,
End of file.
copy to the clipboard with C chord,
Copied 3,865 characters.
and that was kind of a big copy there, but now it's on the clipboard. So if I want to save this somewhere, I can exit
View summary.
with Z chord.
Starcatcher. Album.
And
Search query.
let's get
Options
back
menu.
to
Hello is open.
my hello file,
of file.
and we'll just go to the bottom
new
here,
line.
do V chord or paste.
Pasted 3,283 characters.
And because I'm in Braille, now I have conveniently converted a Wikipedia article into Braille that I can read whenever I want. So this is available. Wiktionary is also available if you want to just look up definitions for different terms. And it functions the same way as Wikipedia. And back over to Stephen.
All right, thanks, Steve. It's a nice demo. We're going to go to Michael, who has a question.
Okay, it's not actually a question, it's just a thank you. This is Michael Harris. I was quite frankly shocked that my simple little calendar file won the contest, but I guess maybe it was its simplicity that was its charm, maybe. I don't know, but I just wanted to say thank you guys, and I'm looking forward to getting that headset.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, have a good one.
Well, we're coming up on the top of the hour, so I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. The recording will be made available on our website